demonstrating on how to change the cap rubber. First, with the power off, we'll move the carriage over. Then taking a flathead screwdriver, pry the old one out. And it's important to keep in mind too, it doesn't matter so much how messy it is, how it comes out. What we're trying to do is make sure we pay attention to how it goes back in. So once pry this out of here, eventually, like so. We'll toss that here in a few minutes. Then what we want to do is take the new cap rubber and and what we want to note here is that there's little protrusions, nipples here. We want to make sure those are facing the front of the cap, and we will slide it in here. And what's kind of a helpful tool once we get to this point is we'll take the wrench and just depress the rubber down into the cap so we know it's nice and flat. It is a little messy, and that's not too big of a deal because we can clean that up later. So once we make sure that's nice and flush with the cap, we'll take a couple of these mesh pieces, and also too, these are directional. So we want to make sure that the closer protrusions are on the back side. We want to seat those in there. And when we do seat them in there, there's 3, of course. So we want to make sure that each one of them kind of seat into position into the new cap rubber. Make sure they're nice and flat. And once you're nice and flat, just wipe it up. And you could do this either with a dry, lint-free cloth, or use that F200 solution to help soften that ink up a little bit. We just want to make sure that the cap rubber is nice and flat and seated into the cap itself, so it's not butting up against the head, and also that the mesh filter is seated in there nice and flat. Once we do that across all 4 caps, we are good to go.